Well, welcome to the final race of the weekend in the GB4 Championship. Snetterton is the location, and we have an exciting reverse grid race. John Jackson here with Piers Pryor, as always. And Piers, we discussed this earlier, but if you didn't catch it earlier, we have a full reverse grid race, which means Megan Bruce starts on pole position.
Oh yes, so that means that pole position at the back and Megan Bruce at the front.
You've explained that so well.
You're welcome. But no, Megan Bruce has gotten a good opportunity to get a good result in this one. She's not had the pace, particularly this weekend, compared to some of the other rounds before. But she'll be hoping to use this to spur her on. And we also be interested to see how the drivers who were the fastest, that front sort of three drivers who are on the podium, they were clearly the quickest. And being fast on your own in clear air is one thing, but being able to be quick through traffic and make those positions is most crucial. And we get bonus points for the number of points you move forward.
I was going to say, who do you think is going to make the most overtakes today?
I'm going to say Alicia Pawlowski.
No, she started on pole position for the first two races. She won the last race, we'll see the highlights in just a second. But because Megan Bruce starts on pole position, that means for the first time ever in GB4, there's a female driver starting pole position at every race, which is an iconic moment.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? Alicia Pawlowski, of course, pole in both race 1 and race 2, owing to her speed in qualifying, and then full reverse grid. Megan Bruce, of course, it's a reverse grid, but she did earn it to a certain extent because she was within 103% of Alicia's fastest time in qualifying.
Excellent stuff. Well, let's take a look at the highlights from this second race. It was earlier on today in the GB4 Championship at Snetterton.
Highlights from round 11 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, and unfortunately for Baxter, there was a stall on the grid and he'd dropped back right to the rear of the field. Unfortunately for the front row, also for Alicia Pawlowski, a slow start, a slow one for Lucas Blakely, and it was the second row that would sweep their way through to take over the race lead. Harry Burgoyne Jr. up to first position and Linus Granfors up to second. There was contact though between the pair of them as they'd worked their way down to the Wilson hairpin. Just a slight mistake there, unfortunately, for Granfors, who would then run out wide before rejoining the race circuit in fourth position. Harry Burgoyne Jr. was feeling the pressure as Alicia Pawlowski was all over the rear end. A couple of mistakes here and there as Harry Burgoyne Jr. was certainly unsettled. Alicia Pawlowski could not quite find a way through until a big move down into Agostini. A huge send down the inside, pulls it up to the apex, did not give an opportunity over, unfortunately, to Harry Burgoyne Jr. And that would be it for her race. She would come through to take her second victory of 2024, and of course leaping over Harry Burgoyne Jr. and Lucas Blakely.
Lucas, some really hard racing out there. How was that for you in the car?
Yeah, very chaotic. First of all, congrats to Alicia. Fully deserved win. She drove really well. Made the move into, I think it was T4. So yeah, well deserved. And yeah, on my side, I'm honestly kind of glad just to be on the podium because, yeah, when the 5-second board came on before the red lights for the start, I stalled the engine. I'm not quite sure how I managed it, but you know, all of a sudden I was so yeah, managed to stall it, tried to start it up, hit the ignition off, had to put the ignition back on, got it started, and the engine was off like a second before the red lights came out. So the fact that I got off the line, you know, not at the back, was first of all really good, and then yeah, managed. I think, you know, we had Linus, and it was chaos going up to T2. I think I don't know what happened with Linus, but he then went a little bit wide, so I got back underneath. So yeah, chaotic first few laps, and it was a really useful race for me to run in a sort of that close a pack with that much dirt air. That's not something I've really had the chance to do yet. So very, very useful for me to learn that now before the reverse grid race later on. But yeah, very happy to be back on the podium considering that my engine was off on the start. So yeah, I'll take it.
Thank you very much, Lucas.
Great turnout actually at Snetterton today, and I've heard a rumour that Lucas Blakely being there as the former F1 Sim Racing World Champion, he brought quite a few people. So it's good to see that, you know, he's translating his success in sim racing into success on the track, as we do mention quite a lot. Which other drivers have stood out to you? Maybe not even this weekend, just as a whole in the GB4 Championship this year, Piers?
There's been quite a lot of standouts. We've mentioned Alicia Pawlowski. She's doing very well. Linus Granfors, of course, leads the championship. We can't go without mentioning him. Again, pace not quite as dominant this weekend. He's had a fourth place in that last one. Couldn't quite keep with the leading three, but he's been doing so well. But also Callum Baxter coming over all the way from Canada, racing for the GBR, Graham Brunson Racing team, and he's been having some solid results. Unfortunately, race 2 this morning didn't quite go his way, stalled on the grid, and then started to make his way back up the grid, and then another spin at the Wilson hairpin. So we'll look out for him in this one.
Well, we're going to hear from him in a little while, but first let's hear from the championship leader, Linus Granfors.
Selena, some hard racing for you out there. How was that for you in the car?
Yeah, well, it was a good start, and then I was behind me going into turn 2, and then I braked a bit too late and hit him in the rear, so yeah, then I fell back to P4 again, and then we're just watching them racing and just save the tires for the last race.
Yeah, and mentioning that last race, what are you going to be planning to do in that one? Obviously, it's reverse grid.
Yeah, well, we have done some good reverse grid racing this year, so yeah, we just try to get a good start and maybe gain some positions in the first lap, and then just try to catch up the field.
Thank you very much, Linus.
Linus Granfos there speaking with Naomi, and it's funny because you watch Linus and you just think of his brother Joel, who competed in GB3 a couple of years ago, and he went on to some good things racing in the States, so I guess his younger brother will be hoping to do the same.
Yeah, it looks like the speed does get passed down in all the genes as well, because Linus has been rapid the last few rounds, leads the championship, and they are very similar both on circuit but off circuit. They're both men of few words.
Yes, of course. We always get a nice short interview with Linus, which is fine. That's all right. Lucas Blakely will happily chat for hours and hours. You know, a guy that just loves racing. So you know, you kind of have one or the other. It's fine. We have people in the middle as well. Callum Baxter. What's his story? We're going to hear from him next.
Callum Baxter. I didn't hear what you said. What was it about Callum Baxter?
What's he about?
Callum Baxter, of course, came over from Canada. He's racing in the GB4 this year. He's been a good addition, bringing up with a Graham Brunt racing team. We had Mayor Giannorine alongside him, but hasn't joined us for this round. And they've had really good pace. Well, Callum has had really good pace at times this year. He was right up there in qualifying this round, which is why this morning he was so disappointed with the stalling on the grid, because he was one of those drivers that really had the pace. In fact, on his fight back through the field, his fastest lap was less than half a second off Alicia, who ultimately won the race.
Are we going to get a long or a short interview? Because we don't know how long this interview is with him. What do you reckon?
Medium.
Medium. Let's hear from Callum Baxter. Let's see if it's a medium-length interview.
Callum, quite a hard race for you out there. What happened in the car? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so unfortunately stalled on the start again. I think that's the second time I did that this season, so a little disappointed with that, but I was able to have a good recovery drive after that, and unfortunately in battling for P6, I ended up getting spun around in turn 2, and yeah, after that it was pretty much over, but I'm looking forward to trying to salvage a good result in race 3.
Yeah, and we did see you trying to make places up in the grid with some really good racing, and as you mentioned, race 3. What are your plans for that?
Yeah, just, you know, I was just picking them off one by one, and you know, I was trying to, after the stall, I was just trying to get as many points as I could. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, but yeah.
And for race 3, what were your plans going to be for later?
Just to, I think I'm starting 8th, try to have a good start, and yeah, like get as many points as I can in that one, so I can feel a little bit better.
Thank you very much, Callum.
1 minute 9 seconds. Which category are we putting that into?
Medium.
A medium short.
Short medium.
It's like an 8 iron, maybe a 9 iron, yeah, if you're approaching the grid. Anyway, yeah, golf always takes over my mind. Great to hear from Callum Baxter. Great to hear that he's enjoying his time over here. When we look at the GB4 Championship, we have Chloe Grant, who was there for the inaugural season. She then went and did F1 Academy, which is something really, really cool in that inaugural season of that. She's now back, and I imagine that when you do a championship that does get quite a lot of attention, like the F1 Academy, you're going to come back and you're going to have other things to deal with. You know, I don't know, I mean, I've actually not been at a GB4 round this year. We're here at Zandvoort, where we've been hosting GB3. I imagine there's a bit more attention on Chloe Grant, but she seems to deal with it well.
There's a lot of attention for female racers in general at the moment. Chloe Grant, of course, raced in F1 Academy. Got a lot of fans from that, and it's great that a new audience, a young audience and a female audience are getting involved with motorsport, and Chloe is, of course, one of those young drivers in the spotlight, but let's not forget that Alicia Palmowski is also doing very well in this championship, as is Megan Bruce too. So we've got a lot of female talent coming up through the ranks, and yeah, it's good that the girls can deal with the extra eyes on them, because it's part of becoming a professional racing driver is people look up to you, people try and talk to you, get autographs, and not feeling overwhelmed and taking it in your stride is part of the skill of making the most of your race weekends.
Now earlier on we saw Tom Mills, last year's champion in the GB4 Championship.
Dominant.
And, you know, he was there the season before and absolutely dominant. Wasn't even meant to be racing last year, was he? And he ended up winning the championship by an absolute mile. We saw him with the pit board because he's involved with the family team there. It's a real shame not to see him in a seat somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Tom Mills was so fast last year. I mean, he won the race, won the championship with a few races to go. He was clearly a very talented driver. team, but he's helping the team, KMR Sport, a lot this season. He's helping driver coaching behind the scenes, of course, a family team as well, so he's able to push the drivers, and it's clearly working because second in the championship is Harry Burgoyne Jr. Harry Burgoyne Jr. is doing very well, second in the championship at the moment, and also allowing people like Lucas Blakely and Brandon McCacken to come and join the championship and have success too.
Yeah, I imagine that Tom's knowledge and his experience has been absolutely invaluable there, and working with those younger drivers. So Piers, we've got this reverse race grid. We're going to go to the grid very, very soon. Who's your money on being a winner here? Do you think one of those faster drivers will make up a lot of places? It's been fairly competitive, I think, this weekend.
Yeah, it has been very close, especially at the front. And that front three especially, Palmowski and the two KMR drivers of Burgoyne and Blakely especially have been very, very fast. But I actually fancy Callum Baxter for a good result here. You know what? Yeah, I'll say Callum Baxter for the win. He's had really good pace, had a struggle in race 2, but he's starting a bit further up the grid than our previous podium drivers, and I think he could have a good one. So that's my money's on Callum Baxter.
Okay, there we go. That is Piers' suggestion. Obviously, look out for Callum in this race as we go racing for one last time this weekend at Snetterton in the GB4 Championship.
It is, of course, round number 12 of this championship, round 12 of 21, that is. And again, we've had some issues in the championship for the likes of Linus Granfors, who hasn't looked particularly fast thus far this round. Will he be able to step things up for this race? We'll see them work their way around. You can see the white sticker there on Megan Bruce's car, so she does have some fresh tyres on the left-hand side of that car, courtesy of the tyre rule. They get 1.5 sets of tyres, so 6 in total, to take them through the weekend. You can see them rolling through, and again, 19 degrees ambient temperature, as we'll get the starting grid to you in just a second's time. We'll see Megan Bruce once again starting from that pole position. It'll be Megan Bruce from Dan Hickey. Jack Taylor will be starting from 3rd position, with Chloe Grant alongside as they work their way down into Agostini. Then, of course, in 5th place it'll be Leon Wilson. Brandon Templeton will be starting from 6th position. Finn Harrison will be starting from 7th. Callum Baxter from 8th position, with Linus Granfors, Harry Burgoyne Jr., Lucas Blakely and Alicia Palmowski rounding out the grid. This is indeed GB4, as we'll see them rolling their way through into Hamilton. Who was your pick for the race? Did you think Callum Baxter might
I called Callum Baxter. I've got a good feeling. He's had good pace this weekend. Had a bit of a misfortune. Starting a bit further up the grid than the likes of Palmowski and the 2 KMR drivers who have also had podiums this weekend. So yeah, I'm going to go for it. Oh, to be fair, Finn Harrison as well.
You don't think it's going to be Chloe Grant?
I just think on the pace that I've seen this weekend that a lot of the drivers at the back of the grid, they've had such a pace advantage that they can come through the field. And we know what the reverse grid is like. Of course, these quote-unquote slower drivers this weekend start at the front of the field. So the faster drivers are at the back, and it brings the grid together, and that can sometimes cause drama, but great racing always is in the reverse grid race.
Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I've got to say, to be fair, Alicia Palmowski, Lucas Blakely, they've been so fast. I wouldn't necessarily rule those out from doing something special here. Linus Granfors, maybe it's time for him to turn things around this weekend. He has had a bit of a mediocre one. Let's not beat around the bush. It's not been ideal.
For his own standards, though, Lewis, because...
Well, he won 4 on the bounce, yeah.
He did, yeah, exactly. If that's average, then, of course, yes, it is mediocre. But he's still gained some pretty good points this weekend.
Certainly has. I mean, the thing is, the gap for the champion, though, has come down. Harry Burgoyne Jr. has closed that one back up. Do you think he's going to be closing it up more this race with Harry Burgoyne Jr., or do you think things might work out better for Linus Granfors in this race?
You know what? I have absolutely no idea. Anything could happen, Lewis. Like calling it. I mean, I've called Callum Baxter for the win. I really hope I haven't jinxed him and I've given him some extra luck. But it's just such a. I say a lottery. It's not a lottery because you need to drive well and you need to, make good decisions. But hey, it's hard to. It's hard to call.
Of course, we'll wait for them to get into their grid boxes as they work their way up the order. Of course, Alicia Palmowski from the rear of the field. Megan Bruce starting on pole position. The fun fact of that is that it means that a female driver has started from pole position in all 3 of the races this weekend. So they'll line themselves up, they'll put themselves in position, they'll get themselves ready for the final race of the weekend. Round 12 of the GB4 Championship, partnered by the BRDC, about to get underway. Halfway has been and gone. Let's see who's going on. It's going to be a false start. We've been called by race control, but I don't know if it is.
No, 100%. Chloe Grant definitely jumped the race start there. She went about a second before the lights went out, so unfortunately that's probably going to be a penalty, and we're now side by side into turn 1.
Yeah, indeed. Sorry, I did get a note in my ear about that might have been a false start, but I thought it might have been for the grid. But no, it was definitely a jumped start there from Chloe Grant. But Megan Bruce with the whole shot. You got Dan Hickey trying to get around the outside of the number 17, trying to work his way past his teammate Jack Taylor, who currently runs in that second position, still once again filling the mirrors. I think it's been an excellent start, though, for the likes of Harry Burgoyne Jr. from the back. I think he's actually worked up a few positions here.
He has. Both of the KMR, both the KMR Sport drivers have made places, but Harry Burgoyne is already in the middle of the pack. He's definitely the fastest starting in the front group of the group at the back, but lots of lockups. Dan Hickey with a big lock-up in the midfield. Burgoyne going around the outside of his teammate Grant already in this early stage of the race. That shows how good his start has been. He's already challenging for the top 5.
Yeah, on the back end of Wilson. There goes straight around the outside of Brandon Templeton. Out wide goes Dan Hickey in that number 17 car, and Wilson's going to get to the outside in the dark blue and white. That is Harry Burgoyne Jr.'s opportunity to sneak one back to the inside. He's going to be closing up right up in the championship if he keeps this up as he works his way back out on the Bentley straight. Fantastic drive thus far. There's one. Here comes another as he's going to drag himself right alongside Dan Hickey, working our way down to Brundle and Nelson. He's got to send it right around the outside. This is a fantastic drive thus far. But look at the switch for the race lead, because there goes Jack Taylor straight down the inside of Megan Bruce, straight around the outside for the podium. Does indeed go Harry Burgoyne Jr. So it's Harry Burgoyne Jr. up to 3rd position now. But we did have that switch for the lead, and Jack Taylor is now at the front.
Yeah, that's a brilliant first lap from Harry Burgoyne Jr. onto the podium positions from the back of the grid already. What a good start. But there was some battling at the back of the field. I saw Alicia Palmowski going up the inside of Lucas Blakely. That car, we're looking at the 88 inside into Oggies, and I think it was 3 wide at that point because Baxter was on the outside.
Yeah, indeed. Look at that lead that Jack Taylor's got. Here comes Harry Burgoyne Jr. He had that race win taken from him, basically, by an excellent drive from Alicia Palmowski. He's hungry for his first ever victory in GB4. Right around the outside of Rich, he's going to go to pick up that position. So a superb effort there from Harry Burgoyne Jr. He's now running in 2nd spot with a decent gap up to Jack Taylor. Megan Bruce is coming back around the outside, and that number 9, Brandon Templeton, has got down the inside. The teammate of Megan Bruce in that number 24 car. Templeton trying to work his way up the order, but Harry Burgoyne Jr. is on the drive of his life.
He is. He's in 2nd place and gapping already, but this battle at the back of the field is going to be hot for the rest of the race, Lewis. It's very, very close.
Yeah, indeed, as we'll see them go 3 wide almost on the down towards Agostini. Alicia Palmowski tries to get down the inside of Chloe Grant, who's almost certainly got a penalty coming. Linus Granford straight around the outside. There is Palmowski to the inside, squeezing out Lucas Blakely. Callum Baxter, your pick for the wins at the back, that's fine. That's okay. We'll talk you through the order. Jack Taylor, of course, is leading. It'll be Harry Burgoyne Jr. in 2nd place, then Megan Bruce in 3rd. Behind that, it'll be Brandon Templeton. Then, of course, it'll be Hickey, Wilson, Harrison, Grant, Granfords, Palmowski, and then, of course, at the rear of the field, it'll be Blakely and Baxter.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry, Callum. I called you for the race, but it's not going away. But hey, we can still fight through. Stranger things have happened, but our attention is very much at the front of the field because, was there contact at the back, actually? I thought there was a front wing flap went on the air, or was it just a bit of a sticker or some debris?
Well, I will say that Linus Granford is trying to work his way up the order as quickly as he can. He's just got past Wilson there as he's worked his way through. They work their way now into Coram. He's got his teammate directly ahead, Dan Hickey, who I think is running in that 5th position as they work their way back out on the start-finish straight. Harry Burgoyne Jr. has closed that gap right the way down, sets the fastest lap of the race as he closes down on the rear end of Taylor. And let's see if there is going to be a move. Burgoyne Jr. is just half a second off as there comes the move to the outside by Finn Harrison.
Finn Harrison getting a good exit out of the last corner, choosing to go around the outside of Megan Bruce and getting the move done before even getting to turn 1. Megan doing well to not to stem the flow. Oh, Linus Granford actually goes wide, having made his way past his teammate of Hickey, and now Leon Wilson uses that momentum to go up the inside, very, very close between those two, and on the exit as well. Unfortunately, Hickey just going a bit too wide, hitting that curb on the exit. He's going down. He's lost about 3 places in as many corners.
Yeah, and they're side by side between the 2 Scottish drivers. Lucas Blakely around the outside of Chloe Grant's fantastic move from Blakely, and now we'll sneak one straight down the inside of Dan Hickey as well. The number 88 making up some progress here, opening the door potentially for Chloe Grant to come back through, but she can't see her way past Dan Hickey, and so has to sit behind. Baxter still sat at the rear, cannot find a way through on any of this. He did struggle to get past Wilson in the previous races. Well, he will pick up some dirt on the exit of Hamilton.
Yeah, Baxter is fighting hard with Chloe Grant at the back of the field. I think Baxter, he's probably got a bit more pace than he's showing in this race. But look at this, we're already getting a fight for the lead, Lewis. Harry Burgoyne Jr. with the drive of the season so far, no doubt. Actually looking at the inside into Brundle. Here's the race start again. Chloe Grant jumps the start almost certainly. If the stewards have seen that, that will be a penalty coming her way. So no matter where she finishes, there it is. Completely jumps the start. That's really unfortunate. I don't know what caused that. But, yeah, that's the result that she's going to get is going to be a time penalty at least added.
Well, back to live pictures. Harry Burgoyne Jr. was unable to find his way past on Taylor there, despite that good effort down into Brundle and Nelson. But you kind of get the feeling it's an opportunity that's coming. There is going to be that opportunity for him to sneak his way past. Taylor is feeling the pressure as they close their way down towards Richards in the first corner. Harry Burgoyne Jr. will try and pick his way around Finn Harrison, sets the fastest lap of the race. There goes Harry Burgoyne Jr. looking to the inside, going into turn 1, and that'll be the 68 making his way through. Harry Burgoyne Jr. yet to take a victory in GB4.
Oh.
He's going to work his way past, but Jack Taylor says absolutely not.
Great return move there from Jack Taylor. I thought the move was done and dusted. It was a brave move up the inside of Richards from Harry Burgoyne, because you have to trust the driver on the outside isn't going to turn in, and he didn't. Burgoyne was all the way ahead, but Taylor went, no thanks, I'm going to go straight back up the inside. Great racing so far, but I think ultimately it's a when not an if that Burgoyne will get through, as we now see Harrison, who set the fastest lap on that last lap, up the inside of Templeton. Templeton gives him room. He may well still have the exit. Oh, contact! Contact! Luckily, they both make it through. Harrison waving his arm, but I think, unfortunately, Finley, that was your fault.
Yeah, he opened up the steering a little bit there on the exit of Agostini. Now he's opened up the steering a little bit on the exit of Hamilton. He dipped 2 wheels into the grass, tries to sneak it down the inside of Templeton, who obviously has got a victory this season as well. He's out a little bit wide as they head their way back through Williams and out onto the Bentley straight. Brandon Templeton is, with his defence, is creating quite a gap now to Harry Burgoyne Jr.
Yeah, Burgoyne Jr. is going to be loving this. And look who's right behind them. Championship leader, Linus Granfors, now going to the inside of Harrison. Oh, that is a robust defence from Finn Harrison, just about on the limit. I think that's probably okay because there was no overlap there, but Harrison defending strongly after being held up by Templeton. Yeah, very much playing into the hands of Burgoyne in second place, who can now have free rein to choose whatever part of the circuit he wants to get past our leader Taylor.
Yeah, indeed, as they head through Coram. Again, it is a tight battle in this grouping, but they have lost a little bit of ground to our races, which does. That's a big slide from Templeton. He's going to open the door. There goes Harrison. There goes Linus Granfors as well. So a little bit too deep into Murray's, you think?
Yeah, definitely. We spoke about it in race 2, didn't we, Lewis? The fact that last Coram and Murray section, you go from one side to the other, and it's so hard to get right. You can easily snatch a break or just carry a bit too much speed into the last corner. Really hurt your exit and then get passed on the way down the start-finish straight. And that's exactly what's happened. Let's have a look at this battle for first. It was 3 cars, now down to 2, although if Burgoyne stays behind Taylor for much longer, Harrison's going to join that party, and also our championship leader Linus Granfors.
Well, looking back, there is Lucas Blakely then, who is ahead of Alicia Palmovsky.
He's got past.
So he has got past indeed. So Alicia Palmovsky has dropped down to 8th position. So Lucas Blakely up to 7th. That is a big look coming in once more from Harry Burgoyne Jr. That had you on the edge of your seat.
Sorry.
My goodness.
Sorry, Lewis. I didn't mean to inhale violently over your commentary there.
Stole my breath away with that.
I'd stole my own breath. Well, Harry Burgoyne stole my breath there because he went for a lunge that was very late. It was a bit of an open door from Taylor. It looked like he's got the car slowed down a little early and left the inside open. So Burgoyne was, that was what caused the Burgoyne sniff, as we see Taylor having a bobble to the middle of the corner onto the Bentley straight. That might hurt his exit, and Burgoyne might be right on the tail, because the thing is with Taylor at the front of the field, he's punching the hole in the air for everyone else.
Here comes Bax then, making his way past Bruce. Megan Bruce dropping down the order. Once again, Jack Taylor is going to hang on to the race lead at the end of the Bentley straight. There is Baxter completing that move, side by side in the background between Hickey and Chloe Grant, who's dipping 2 wheels on the grass to try and sneak her way around the outside of Brundle. Inside for Nelson, clips the curb on the right hand side, and unfortunately Chloe Grant's going to be at the rear of the field. She's dropped all the way down to the back end. Dan Hickey squeezing his way past up to 11th spot, or rather holding 11th spot. Back to the front though, with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. Should be 5 laps of racing. Taylor continues to lead. Harry Burgoyne Jr.'s closed his way in, but Finn Harrison is on the scene and is hungry for that victory. Here comes Burgoyne Jr. to the outside.
Yeah, Burgoyne Jr. just looking to the outside, but Taylor, realising he had a completely clear run, has opened up the entry and is driving very well, actually, I must say, from Taylor, because he could have relinquished the lead as Harrison looks up the inside of Burgoyne. Is he going to get it stopped? Just about, and that's going to leave Harrison vulnerable on the exit. Although saying that, actually it was Burgoyne who got a bad exit, and now Granfors having a look up the inside, can't get it done. it's gone from pressure for the lead and to now pressure for second place.
Harry Burgoyne Jr. is driving his mirrors too much. You saw that really on the exit. He's more focused on what's happening behind than what's happening ahead. Here comes Linus Granfors, though, in that number 16, the red and white car. Granfors is going to get to the inside, coming down to Agostini, and will move his way up into third position. Great move from the championship leader. He's got the driver who sits second in the championship directly ahead of him. Finn Harrison could not get any return serve on that one, so has to settle down for fourth position.
Brandon Templeton's back in this battle. Oh no, contact! That is Blakely.
No, it's Chloe Grant. Chloe Grant's got broke,
contact.
Very broken car indeed on Chloe Grant.
Right rear suspension, so it's basically wheel-to-wheel contact by the looks of it. Who was ahead of who? Wilson was ahead of Grant.
Yeah, Wilson.
So therefore, it looks like potentially Grant's gone up the inside and there's been contact. Again, just speculation at this point. But Granfors now looking around the outside and has got the move done on Harry Burgoyne Jr. So removing any... Oh, hang on, front wing damage for Harry Burgoyne Jr. When's that happened?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where the safety car has been deployed here at the Snetterton circuit. So safety car going out, obviously that will be to recover Wilson and Granfors. Obviously the drivers will be aware, and that's Harry Burgoyne Jr.'s front wing gone. So like I say, that damage, it's unfortunately popped that off. He'll be able to get that one back into the pit lane. Huge drama for the championship, and suddenly Linus Granfors is staring at a potential victory.
If Burgoyne is clever, he'll pit now. No, just.
You saying he's not clever?
Too late. No, I said if he could see the board.
All right, that's fine.
Anyway, he could have pitted then if he'd have seen the boards early enough, which would have allowed him to take that front wing. Oh, here we go. Here's a replay from behind. So that's
Wilson. Wait.
Hang on.
Wilson made contact
with...
No. So Wilson's had his moment, but then there's Chloe Grant with separate incidents with Dan Hickey.
So we put 2 plus 2. We put 2 plus 2 and made 17.
That is crazy.
Same corner, same lap. So yeah, unfortunate for both of them. Who was Wilson alongside?
I think it was Baxter.
So it was Baxter. So it was Wilson's left rear with Baxter. Baxter was defending. Wilson tried to go on the outside, contact wheel to wheel, and then it looked like Grant was trying to go on the inside of Hickey, because yes, Hickey got past the lap before, and they made contact. All within the space of about 5 seconds. 2 different fights, 2 different battles. Same result for both cars, unfortunately, out of the race. Brandon Templeton's got a wing mirror that's hanging quite low on his car, so he won't be able to see what's going on behind him on the right-hand side. So if a driver behind sees that, they might use that to their advantage.
Well, into the pit lane, Dan Hickey comes. You know that meme where there's the woman and she looks confused and there's all like the maths appearing in front of her? Yes. That's literally what I just saw with Piers Pride right there as he was trying to work everything out. It's very, very interesting to see. Either way, Dan Hickey into the pit lane. That car probably has got a fair amount of damage. Obviously, with the wheel-to-wheel contact, that probably wouldn't have done ideal things for his Fortec car. It is still a Fortec 1-2, though.
Fortec 1-2. They're doing very well in this race. Very impressed with Jack Taylor's drive in this race, I must say. I didn't call him for a race victory because, based on the pace he's had up till this point, he's not been front-running pace. But he has legitimately kept a championship contender in Harry Burgoyne behind him. The pace in this race has been pretty good compared to the rest of the field, and he did get passed straight back, so racecraft not an issue at all, but he's going to have his work cut out with the championship leader and his teammate right behind him.
How did they not pick up the safety car?
The safety car just came out a bit late.
Oh, okay.
It was coming out of the pits as we were looking at Harry Burgoyne Jr. Last lap out. Harry may not know that he has front wing damage, or he's holding out
because of the time. There is 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this race, so unless they get those cars out of the way this lap, when we get racing at the end of this lap, this race will finish under safety car. So that might be their preparation from that one, but alas, it still will take a fair while for them to get round on those 2 laps. There's Megan Bruce at the rear end of the train. I'll remind you of the order then very quickly. It'll be Taylor leading from Granfors, Harrison in 3rd position with Brandon Templeton in 4th, Lucas Blakely up to 5th position with Harry Burgoyne Jr. dropped down to 6th, Alicia Palmovsky in 7th, Callum Baxter, then Megan Bruce, and of course Wilson, I think he's obviously out of the race, Hickey out of the race, Chloe Grant out of the race.
Yeah, 3 DNFs, so really unfortunate considering we had such good racing up to that point. It was all going so well.
It was. We actually had a very solid race here. There we go. They're getting Wilson's car out of the way. Maybe there is a chance we'll go racing at the end of this lap, although I do find it very unlikely. I get the feeling if I were to hedge my bets and chuck something down, I would say this is ending under a safety car.
Yeah, it would be good to get one more racing lap, but that remains to be seen because there were 2 stranded cars on the circuit, Wilson and Chloe Grant, just a bit further around this corner. The drivers will be mentally preparing to go racing regardless.
Are they going slower than normal?
It looks like they are going quite slowly. Yeah, Chloe Grant's car is in the back of shot there. So as much as the safety car is doing all it can to get one more racing lap, they would have to go at somewhat walking pace to get round. So I think you're right, Lewis. Unlikely to be going racing again, but don't switch off yet because you never know. The marshals at Snetterton always do a good job. Efficient as always.
There was a late safety car in British GT, and it ended up to 5 minutes left to go in that race. And obviously, we're not going to have 5 minutes left to go in this one. But there was a late safety car in that caused some drama.
There's a bollard.
There is indeed. Finn Harrison nearly drove into it.
Oh,
Whoa,
did Lucas Blakely.
He did as well. I don't know
that would be from the inside of their. I can't remember. Williams, yeah, with the inside of Williams. So someone is just taking a little bit too much go. Maybe that was where Harry Burgoyne Jr.
lost his front wings.
Maybe that's where he lost his front wing.
T+2, yeah, again, T+2 didn't work.
I mean, we made 17 last time, so maybe don't.
Let's pump the brakes, but it would make sense because those bollards are, as much as they're made of plastic and you hit them all in the video games and stuff.
Yeah,
it's not the same in real motorsport.
Yeah, these front wings, of course, they can produce a lot of load. They can produce a lot of load on downwards, but they're not very good at taking load forwards or backwards because it's effectively 4 bolts that holds them on, and it can pull out easily. Oh, we're going green this time.
We're going to get the lights out on the safety car. No, so lights are still on the safety car.
They've gone out.
Now they have gone out. So we did get a call there that we might go back under racing. So Chloe Grant's car is still there. So that'll be probably under double waved yellows.
I would imagine so.
Into Hamilton. But the safety car will be coming back into the pit lane. 1 minute and 30 seconds left to go. So we'll be starting the final lap of this race. It is Jack Taylor in control.
Yeah.
And Linus Granfors behind. Granfors could do with a victory here to reignite his championship lead and pull out much clearer from Harry Burgoyne Jr., who's got no front wing, let's remember. Here we go then, back racing with Jack Taylor in control. Already, Granfors is closing in. He's going to look for a move coming down to turn 1 at Richards. He goes to the outside. He's got the overspeed in his Fortec, the number 16 Fortec machine with the green helmet. Straight through. Big slide. There's contact between the teammates. And that's Finn Harrison coming through. And Lucas Blakely has come through to take the lead.
And Megan Bruce has joined the party and gone off as well, the circuit as well. Chaos on this restart. And it is now Alicia Parmowski is going for 2nd place.
Yep, indeed. So Lucas Blakely coming through. Alicia Palmowski in 2nd. Brandon Templeton in 3rd. You said not to switch off. Oh, my goodness.
Hey,
that was too much from Taylor. He just overcommitted into T1.
Hey, Lucas Blakely. Is it Lucas Blakely?
It is Lucas Blakely.
How? This Baxter's going for a move on Burgoyne. Of course, Burgoyne's still got no front wing. But actually, some of those drivers who went off at turn 1 are in the back of shot and they're continuing on. Burgoyne, of course, not able to fight that with no front wing. But Blakely will think all of his Christmases have come at once.
Baxter was off the rear end of the field. He was in 12th position ages ago. And then we were saying that was definitely the commentator's curse, which doesn't exist. This proves the commentator's curse doesn't exist because he's worked his way back up to 4th. It's rubbish.
Lewis, how was... It was a high-risk move from Linus Granfors going around the outside. He could have just waited, maybe more consolidated a 2nd place when he was ahead of his teammates. It looked like that Taylor was just trying not to hit him. Held the brakes a bit too long, got sideways and clattered into the side of Granfors. That's going to be an awkward team debrief, and then Harrison just followed them in. But, hey, 1 win already, 3rd place this morning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it yet because, I mean, this race has been crazy, but...
It's fine.
It could be another race win for Lucas Blakely.
We did say it might happen for someone slightly lower down. We didn't quite expect in this scenario. Through Coram, what a weekend it has been from Lucas Blakely, winning the first race of the weekend, grabbing a podium in the 2nd, and coming through the carnage to take victory here in round 12 of GB4. It is Blakely on top once again, leading over the line, Alicia Palmowski, and somehow, out of absolutely nowhere, also across the line, was that Baxter in 3rd?
It is. Lewis, to finish first, you must finish.
Did Templeton have a slow run, or am I going
must have.
insane?
He must have had an issue on that last sector of the lap. Megan Bruce finishes in 6th.
Wow, this is absolutely wild. That is one of the crazier ends to a GB4. Well, no, I'm going to say it. That is the craziest end to a GB4 race we have ever had.
It may well be the craziest we ever have.
Honestly, I am speechless after that. Again, you were saying it was a high-risk move from Granfors going around the outside, which is right. I absolutely agree. But for me, Jack Taylor just overcommitted on the inside.
Yeah.
The rear end stepped out. We're about to see a replay of it.
So Linus Granfors going for the outside, and he just gives Taylor enough space. Taylor loses the rear, and then I mean, to be honest, Harrison had nowhere to go. It's a safety car restart already there. He put on the brakes to try and avoid contact, but unfortunately, when you're fully loaded in a corner like that and you're on the brakes, the car loops round, and we saw Granfers into the barrier hard on the exit. Hopefully, he's okay. It didn't look like it was too big of a hit, but the Fortec Motorsport team will be gutted with that. That was a 1-2 pretty much in the bag, and a small mistake from Jack Taylor. A bit of actually showing a bit of inexperience there, because he didn't let the safety car go away from him when the lights went out, and therefore everyone was right on his tail going over the start-finish line, which kicked that chain of events off. So he will learn from that, I'm sure.
Great drive from Alicia Palmovsky, though, and like I say, big and unfortunate moment coming in from Linus Granfors, who will lose a fair amount of ground in the championship, I am afraid. And I don't think he's not going to be relinquishing the championship lead, because Harry Burgoyne Jr. didn't finish in a high enough spot, but certainly the championship lead will be coming down as we prepare for the final 3 race weekends of 2024. Lucas Blakely, though, what a stunning weekend. First, third and first. Absolutely superb. And to be fair, realistically, I wouldn't have even been shocked if he'd won that second race. He's been absolutely rapid thus far this weekend. What a showing it's been from him.
No doubt, a brilliant drive, a brilliant guest appearance. He'll be over the moon. I wonder if we'll see emotions like we did in the first couple of races. He would deserve it, because ultimately he put himself in a position to take that win. It wasn't likely that he was going to get the podium, but he stayed out of trouble. Pace was there, and sometimes you've just got to get the luck.
I'm sure when Naomi has a little question with him, I'm sure he'll talk for Scotland. But we'll have to wait and see as they'll work their way down into it. And, of course, they'll work their way into Parc Fermé, into the podium positions. And again, it'll be Blakely from Palmovsky, as it was in the first race of the weekend as well. But I say, it's just absolute chaos at the end of that race, which is not quite what we expected. There is the car of Lucas Blakely working his way in. There is Baxter on the right-hand side, who there must have been a mistake or something from Templeton, because I thought Baxter was in 4th position at the end.
It looked like Templeton. Sorry, Lewis, I thought you'd finished. Templeton looked like Templeton was struggling a little bit with the car. He made a couple of mistakes during that race, and then on the last lap as well. I don't think he can believe what's happened there. Right. He's in pure disbelief. Oh, hang on. Is he being told that he's...
No.
Or is he... Oh, it's just genuine disbelief. It looked like he was shaking his head as if he's not won the race, but he has.
Well, indeed. He's clearly not waiting for a flight, is he? As he'll be told by Kevin Mills. Congratulations, as he'll climb his way out of the car. Hopefully we'll head down to Naomi in a second, and we'll catch up with our top 3. Very well done. He's absolutely confused and baffled by what has just happened in that race, as we'll see them put his wheel back into the car and walk his way over. And again, like you say, they're all jumping out after what has been an exhausting weekend from them. As we'll head down to... never mind. We'll wait just a second as they'll be preparing themselves. Again, what a drive.
What a drive. And you do really have to have the luck. But Palmovsky actually drove a good race. She made some good moves, stayed out of trouble, and you win a championship when you just stay out of trouble, effectively. It's consistent. We saw Max Maserati a couple of years ago. And he was there because of this consistency. Why don't we hear from the top 3 in...
Wow, what an insane race that was. We'll have to... There we go. Tom Mills knows what to do. Lucas, wow, we didn't expect we'd be seeing you now. Talk us through it.
I think you've probably got a better chance of doing that than me. I mean, I am speechless. I don't know what to say. I don't know what happened at turn 1. I just saw, I think, literally 3 cars sideways. I hope everyone's all right. There was quite a few incidents during the race with cars going off, and first I hope that everyone's okay, because there was 3 cars sideways into turn 1. Probably the fastest corner on the track in terms of commitment. So, firstly that's my first thought. But what a crazy race. I mean, P11 to P1. I mean, I didn't even know that last green flag lap was the last lap. Again, so much goes on in those races. I just tried to make sure I did everything right. So many overtakes, so many defining moments. I mean, I went from P5 into P1 in the last lap. So, I definitely just, played my cards right and, just snuck through the madness. So I'm just grateful that, we managed to come out on the other side.
Yeah, and so you're on your return to GB4, 2 wins on your return to GB4. And how is that for you now? How are you looking forward to Silverstone?
I mean, I'm just speechless. It's just so hard to process. I mean, for like the last 2 months since I finished my latest esports season, I've been thinking about, okay, how do I get back into a real car, and whether that's going out for runs more. I mean, I'm not the weight I want to be yet, but bringing small things, being fitter, I definitely think that's helped a lot as well this year. Just all the small little things. I mean, yeah, I just couldn't have imagined it all coming together like this. 3 podiums in 3 races is really hard to do when you've got the reverse grid. So yeah, as you can probably tell, a very different emotion to the first one, because it just came as a shock. But yeah, hope everyone is okay from everything during the race. I'm just trying to, I think we've got a few drivers walking back now, so yeah.
Thank you and congratulations, Lucas. We'll just have a look for Alicia Palmowski. Hi, so Alicia, again, didn't expect to see you here. How was that for you in the car?
Yeah, it's a difficult race. Reverse grid races are always tricky. They're a completely different ball game to normal races. Just really went in with a mentality of just we need to collect championship points and finish the race, to be honest. There's always a little bit of carnage. I was very lucky there, to be totally honest. It's clear I inherited that P2. But then again, we had so much bad luck at Donington Park through no fault of my own. So motorsport is just full of highs and lows. So I'm sorry for my teammate Finn, because I think he was in the fight for the win. So huge shame for him. But nevertheless, for me, great championship points, and it just finishes up a good incredible weekend.
Thank you very much, Alicia. We'll go over to Callum Baxter. Callum, your dad said to me earlier that you'd be up here this afternoon. How was that for you in the car?
Yeah, that was a really fun race. It was very challenging. Everyone was kind of all over the place, but yeah, I'm really happy that could come out of that with a podium.
Congratulations, Callum. And we'll hand back to Lewis for the highlights. All right. The drivers are arriving to the podium, all coming from the Parc Fermé area. I think all of them have quite a sense of surprise, not really expecting to be up here, especially from what happened after that safety car. Everyone just quite shocked, running over. Not expecting that at all. We seeing Finn Harrison walking over, just kind of here to celebrate and congratulate his teammate, but also in shock himself. Just waiting on the podium here. The teams are all crowding over. Again, just people in shock. Marshall's having to head out to the track, check on the cars and bring them over. But here comes Callum Baxter in P3, the Canadian, without his teammate Maya Dionorine this weekend, but it's a great moment for Graham Brunton Racing. Alicia Palmowski up in P2. As John has mentioned this weekend, this first weekend with all women starting on pole. Lucas Blakely up in P1. And that's next after the photos will be the fastest lap award. Which is awarded to Lucas Blakely in the KMR squad. A double race win for Lucas Blakely this weekend. Not sure he expected that on his return to GB4, but we will see him again in Silverstone, and we will hand back to Johners in Zandvoort.
So a great weekend of racing in the GB4 Championship, also here in Zandvoort in the GB3 Championship. As me and Piers mentioned earlier, we've got Silverstone coming up in 2 weeks' time. We've got 6 races across the GB4 and the GB3 Championship, so loads to come. 3 more rounds in both championships, and you can find out all the information the GB4 and the GB3 social media pages. Also, Piers, your favourite place to find Randy's race reports on the GB4 and the GB3 websites. You read all of those, and it's some great writing from Richard Randall.
Oh, of course. Richard Randall is the PR officer for the championships, and any information and updates that you might need will be on the GB-3 and GB-4.net website, so keep an eye on those for information and news between now and then.
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you very much to our team at Snetterton, Naomi and the crew over there. Thank you very much to everyone working here at Zandvoort on the GB3 Championship. We'll see you in a couple of weekends' time as we go back to Silverstone.